Good evening, all. What's going on? This is Reggie from the Basic Black Podcast. Didn't really plan on coming on tonight and actually making a recording. I wanted to go ahead and do so because I am speaking in regards of the Lewiston, Maine shooting. Just happened a few hours ago. You're getting reports from all the news outlets, CNN and whatnot. Am I surprised? No. Am I shocked? No. And you would probably say why. The reason why I am not shocked is because guns are available, or even when guns aren't available, they're still able to be in the hands of the right people. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a huge Second Amendment person. I'm currently in California where we have absolutely no damn gun rights. And situations when they come up like this really make me concerned. And the reason why I say it makes me concerned because where I have an issue falls into the let me adjust this volume out a second, which makes me concerned for one simple point. Currently, from what they're saying being reported, you have at least 50 injured and 22 people has lost their lives. Now, I find that to be a bad, bad number because you have to go back and you have to look at other shootings like the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando. You have to look at the other large mass shooting events. You go back to Columbine, you're getting in 20-ish people that were killed, and they're not even done trying to get this settled. The shooter is still active, and the shooter didn't kill himself. So they're saying he's military, so that says he's well trained. So you would say at this time of night, why in the hell, Reggie, are you sitting up here worried about an active shooter? I'm worried about an active shooter for one simple reason. You have thousands upon thousands of residents that are in Lewiston, Maine, and they are having to shelter in place. Okay. You're like, all right, well, that's a smart thing to do. Shelter in place, everybody. That's what we should do. We should just shelter in place and everything's going to be okay. And it might. But I have a problem with an active shooter on the loose. Now, law enforcement's doing everything they can. I don't have any problem with law enforcement. I don't have any problem with the job the police has to do. We know there's good cops and we know there's bad cops. That's a discussion for a completely different time. For me, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I find it hard being a resident in Arizona where I currently possess my CCW. I find it an issue being a resident in Arizona where if this was going on in Arizona, we would have the right to defend ourselves, to defend our families, our life, and our property. But that's not the case if this was in California. Now, if you want to ask me, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it, yes, I have voted Democrat in the past. I really doubt I will do that this go around because our current president has been nothing but a utter disgrace and a joke. Joe Biden is a joke. Joe Biden is doing nothing more than pandering for other countries. He's not concerned about United States citizens. They're more concerned about how many migrants we can put in sanctuary cities and whatnot and so forth. But in the meantime, you want to give work visas and permits to migrants while in the same cities there are American citizens who are starving and dying. So I expect Joe Biden to do exactly what he does. He's gonna we me and the wife pray for all the people in Lewiston, Maine. Our hearts go out to them. And you know what? And for me, it does because these are innocent lives taken away. Now, I'm not saying that it would end it differently if one of the people or some of the people in that bowling alley or that bar or somewhere else along this three stops of death that the shooter went on had a firearm, it might have ended differently. I feel like what needs to happen at this point, we need to take a real look at gun control. Keep in mind, and I'm thinking of California when I'm saying this, keep in mind that a criminal does not care, not concerned when it comes to the point of am I am I going to get my hands on a firearm? You want to say, hey, you guys should just go ahead and you should be concerned about mental health. There needs to be mental health checks. There needs to be this, that, and other. That's BS. It's not going to happen right now. But if someone was going to be on the loose as an active shooter, and I'm in my home with my wife and my dog and my property, life, liberty, and a pursuit of damn happiness, I want to be able to legally possess a firearm that can neutralize a threat if one comes. So for all the people in Maine right now, in Lewiston, Maine, that are sheltering in place, my heart goes out to you. To the families that have lost loved ones or don't even know they've lost loved ones, my heart goes out to you. There's nothing worse than giving an apology and not having a solution when talking about it. Let's be for real. The NRA is not going to say anything. Right now, the response from the NRA is going to be the Mitch Challenge. Let me help you with the Mitch Challenge. It's kind of like the Beyonce Mute Challenge, but it's what Mitch McConnell would do. So I'll play the reporter. So, Mr. NRA people, what do you feel about the shooting, the massacre in Lewiston, Maine? How do you feel about that? Exactly. Not a damn thing's going to be said. Not a damn thing is going to be done. Gun control is too much control. I look back at cities like Chicago, that Illinois that have some of the strictest gun laws. Oh yeah, crime is definitely at a low rate there. I mean, if you really want to get a gun, go to Indiana. That doesn't make any sense. I should not think and feel that I have to be a criminal, even with a clean background, a clean history, whatever it might be, that I cannot legally possess a firearm of my choosing to protect my family. If I want an AR-15, I should be able to have one. If I want whatever, if I want 223, 556, if I want 300 blackout, whatever, to protect my home, I think that's a better idea. Because let's be for real, if home defense, and I'm going to say this for all my gun people, home defense, yes, a shotgun is a good remedy. Because nothing like the rake of a shotgun that's going to keep somebody from saying, oh yeah, I want to run in there. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to take care of everything. No. But in those cases you can't have it, I want to have the ability not only to possess the correct firearm, but to be able to possess the correct ammunition to where I can actually have self-defense rounds if it's a handgun. Definitely, I like to go ahead and say Canic. You make one hell of a firearm. Glock 17 MOS, for us big hand people, is one of my regulars. I wish it was a regular in California, but it can't be because good old Gavin. Thank you, Gavin. Thank you for making good citizens criminals for protecting themselves. And thank you for allowing criminals to keep doing what they do. I really appreciate it. I hope you don't get elected again. You don't need to be elected. And I don't care party lines or not. I'm not going to support a candidate who is not going to support myself and others from having the ability to defend themselves. We have to get to a point where we're just plain damn disgusted of these shootings. We have to get to a point where we have to say no more. We have to get to a point to where we say if the NRA doesn't want to speak, screw them. We want to change legislature. We want to change anybody that opposes these bills. We need to change the way we do business in the United States. The focus is no longer on law abiding United States citizens, it's being applied to others. We can sit back and say we are in complete understanding and we defend, and you can go through Emily, Lazarus, and the great Colossus. Bring your huddled masses yearning to be free. Well, that's great if you want to bring them, but the ones that are already here aren't being taken care of. This might be a little bit long of a tirade, but I say this: Joe, you have to go. And this is coming from somebody who was a lifelong Democrat. Gavin Newsom, you got to go. And anyone in the House and Senate that doesn't support this, regardless of your party line, you need to go as well. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and just go ahead and thank everybody if you made it to the end of this recording. Thank you for it not being all professional and whatnot. I just decided that I wanted to record something. Thank you very much for listening to the great state of Maine and the city of, Lewiston. Our collective hearts and prayers go out to you, but they go out to you with the knowing and need that we need to do better. And when we say we need to do better, not just one, not just two, we the people. Second Amendment, we should be able to defend ourselves. So to the ones that are sheltered in place, please be vigilant and be careful. And to the ones that are in the members of law enforcement, I hope that you're safe. Please do everything you can to neutralize this threat in any way possible to make sure that there are no more loss of life. I would like to go ahead and say thank you so much. This is the Basic Black Podcast. I'm Reggie. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. God bless America.